This is F.E.A.R. Not the concept, but the horror game series by Monolith Productions, who've also made Condemned Criminal Origins. It's a horror game, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're out of self-defense options. You have guns, melee weapons, and even the ability to slow down time. Using these options, you must fight your way through both enemy soldiers and even ghosts. Oh my god! What the fuck? This is Trepang, or Trepang squared. There's no Trepang 1, so I assume it's meant to be Trepang squared. Whatever, I'll just go with Trepang for simplicity's sake. Trepang is a first-person bullet time shooter and is one of the best I've ever played, if not at least incredibly underrated. I originally caught wind of this game from a Pyro Live video, and this was when the initial public demo was released and I absolutely fell in love. The gunplay mixed with the bullet time aspect made the game an absolute blast to play. And for those unaware, most bullet time games have a mechanic where you can slow down time to kill enemies, and it looks sick and feels amazing. And it even adds a new camouflage mechanic where you can blend into the environment around you. Now, if you're an avid fan of bullet time games, the description of some of the gameplay mechanics might seem very similar to F.E.A.R, and I believe it was done on purpose. It's meant to be like a spiritual successor to F.E.A.R, hence the similar mechanic. However, besides that, there are little to no similarities between F.E.A.R and Trepang, and while longtime F.E.A.R fans might see this as a negative since it's supposed to be a spiritual successor, its differences make the game surpass F.E.A.R in a lot of ways. The demo covers the first level of the game where you start as a prisoner in a research facility where you were being experimented on, and then you escape. However, you're not necessarily free yet. You have to avoid groups of soldiers searching the building for both you and the creature that freed you. However, the devs then realized that stealth sections in FPS games are ass, so they quickly equip you with your Second Amendment right and then force you to make use of your other ability to slow down time. So you quickly learn about your special abilities and put them both into action in less than 7 seconds of opening the game. Technically, you can also sneak around most of these areas to avoid large-scale conflicts, but this game is definitely at its best when you're rushing into 30 enemies in slow-mo, shooting their bodies as they ragdoll into the air. Also, you can combo a slide tackle into an enemy and they go flying. Cue some cool fight scenes and you get to the final sequence of the first level/demo. You're put in a decently sized room surrounded by elevators with waves of enemies being pushed at you, and the agent sending them is very upset at me being good at video games.
F.E.A.R 2, what the fuck is going on in there? Should we still move in there? Please advise. Get the fuck in there now! What the fuck?
After getting so pissed off, he decides to run the ones man-to-man and gets slammed. After escaping through an exit, we are met by a helicopter sent by people that claim to be our allies, and they shove us into the helicopter and fly our ass out of there. That's the end of the demo. But oh my god, was it so much fun. I replayed it at least 2 times just because of how addicting the gameplay was and how well everything worked together. And for a free demo for a game that was still about a year in development until it was released, it's a fantastic showing of what could be. However, at least these days, it's really hard to trust a demo. A lot of games pour everything into the demo and make the demo amazing, but the rest of the game undercooked and really bad. So how is the actual full game? Well, from what I played, it surpasses the demo in every way imaginable. We'll mostly skip past the first level in the full game. It has more polish and a few more rooms, but is mostly the same as the demo. After the helicopter saves us, it brings us to a military base where we are briefed that we are inclined to help this corporation with some missions due to our particular skill set. Now we have here our pseudo hub world where we have an armory to add certain enhancements to our guns and practice our aim. Anyway, so our first official mission with these guys has us attacking a lab to gain intel. The intel we're supposed to grab is inside of a computer that belongs to one Dr. Emerson, a scientist at the research facility. So we just gotta get him and his laptop out of here and we should be all good. After an incredible rooftop fight sequence, seriously, it's actually that amazing. We get down and dirty into the depths of this place, and it's clear that something is seriously wrong here. A bit more wandering around, and we find, this guy. All the enemies up to this point have been your run-of-the-mill army grunts, but the voice acting does give them a ton of personality. But this guy is the first melee-only enemy. Well, technically. I don't know the official name, so I'll call them mouth breathers since they kinda, spit out their mouths. After wasting a mouth breather, the landscape slowly starts to change to reflect that we've entered someone else's domain. Something who took over this part of the research facility from the guards and the scientists. Not even the hundreds of army guys got this far, and you can find their bodies along the way to prove it. And the music just slaps you in the face with the fact that you don't belong here. They make sure you know it. They throw enemy after enemy at you, and although they aren't very strong, there are so many of them that it doesn't matter. They give you almost every weapon in the game so far to fend off these monsters, and it is insane. But as suddenly as they attacked, the horde stops, and you get a moment to breathe. I did say a moment. After being nearly impaled by this, Mothman, you're thrown down into a gas-infected part of the lab. Barely alive, you stumble out of the decontaminant chamber, and I give it a ping to follow, to Dr. Emerson directly. Well, it did lead us to him, alright. Emerson's dead, but a good old flash drive can hold all of that intel. Before we can call it quits and go home, we're given another task.
Next objective is to destroy the subject. Horizon's gone too far. We can't let this thing escape.
You want me to kill this thing? Okay, so I was going to skip over a majority of the lore and story for this game because I wanted this video to inspire you to play it for yourself. Also, I wanted to keep this video manageable for me time-wise, but I feel like it's necessary here. So the people who own the lab we're raiding for this info is a company called Horizon, and their experiments not only created the mouth breathers and the Mothman, but maybe also us too. Anyway, they've gone out of control, so we need to put an end to it. And to do that, we have to destroy the building's reactor, taking all these monsters down with it. Once we actually find these reactors down deeper into the facility, we can make use of the grab mechanic, throw mouth breathers into these, causing the building to go up in flames. So we gotta book it. And of course, with an enemy this big, you gotta have a chase sequence. Here is our final stand against this guy. While waiting for the elevator, you have to fend off the big man himself. The underground laboratory explodes with the Mothman down in the depths, and us safely on an elevator, heading towards an extraction team. And this Mothman boss was kind of underwhelming. Son of a bitch! So this is the real final fight of the mission, and now he isn't pulling any punches. He turns your own allies into mouth breathers who then try to kill you, forcing you to kill the people who were there to save you. However, in this explosion, the Mothman lost part of his somehow bulletproof wings. There are only advantages against this beast. And with that last volley of gunfire, the Mothman is finally put down and the ugly truth of Horizon's experiments have become clear, and our new ultimate goal is given to us. We have to put a stop to all of their research facilities. And then we are extracted on a helicopter that was meant for all of our comrades, but is now just filled with someone who could very well be a product of Horizon's terrible experiments. We did come from our Horizon facility after all. Could we be some sort of perfect soldier Horizon's attempting to make an army? At this point, we don't know, but I'm sure we'll find out, whether we want to or not. I think here is a good cutoff point for this video. I highly recommend you guys play this game for yourselves. There's a ton of stuff I did not go through, and I mean a lot. So seriously, go buy the game and play it for yourself, and you won't be disappointed. And even if you're interested in the F.E.A.R series of games, if you've already beaten Trepang and want a little bit more of bullet time horror action, I highly recommend the games. They're very good. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.